What's up, everybody? It's the Big K Experience and the Spilt Milk Show with the B. Today we're going to be talking about how the former Prince, Harry, and Meghan are leaving the royal family, and why is it so easy for liars to lie? All coming up in this episode of the Spilt Milk Show is brought to you by Kingman Chevrolet. It's all about the journey from point A to point B and anywhere in between. The 2020 Equinox small SUV is ready for your next adventure. There's technology to keep you entertained, available safety features that can help you stay on track, and performance that makes driving fun. Because why shouldn't every trip be an excuse to treat yourself? I don't know. Why shouldn't it be? And right now at Kingman Chevrolet, get 0% APR for 72 months for well-qualified buyers, plus $500 cash allowance when you finance through GM Financial. That's at Kingman Chevrolet on Stockton Hill in Kingman. So go check out the 2020 Equinox and let's start the show. All right, so I kind of traveled around Mojave County a little bit this weekend. Went to Laughlin and ran into the AA Roundup, which is for Alcoholics Anonymous, and a bunch of people show up and they have speaker meetings and marathon meetings and things like that. And they have a little museum in there, which caught my eye. And a guy named Bill W. is the one that put together AA, right? So if you're not familiar with him, you can look him up. But there's a whole library of stuff in there of the history of Alcoholics Anonymous, even before it was AA. And I got some pictures for you, I'm showing you, of the books and when they started in 1939, which, by the way, I thought the book was going to look a lot more old. Like, I have pictures of older books, and then the oldest AA book looks like a book from now, you know? I thought maybe when it was printed it would look a little funnier, you know, maybe leather bound or something like that, you know, in 1939. I forget they had printing presses. The Industrial Revolution, bro. But no, it just tripped me out a little bit. I expected the books to look older. However, I saw like generations worth of books and how they've changed and manipulated them to look a little bit more sleek, a little bit more cool, because it's a great program and it does great things. One thing I've noticed about my life lately is that as I've stopped partying, which is the reason I obviously am intrigued by these anonymous meetings, is I feel like there was something missing, right? So when I stopped partying, there was that hole in my soul. And it was obviously after my wife died, because that's when I went hard in the paint, started drinking a lot, so that I wouldn't remember she wasn't at home. But the thing is that hole, when I stopped partying and stuff, has gotten significantly larger to me. However, I was thinking about it, and is that hole really something I don't need? Maybe it is. Maybe the reason I've never noticed it before is because when you're in your early 20s, for instance, you're exploring the world, finding new things, creating a career, creating a life, building yourself up, so you're constantly filling that hole. And then as you get older, it gets harder to fill because of the fact that you've accomplished so many things, or maybe you're stuck somewhere, you're in a rut, or whatever the case may be. But that hole is necessary, I've started to believe. It's your drive. It's the thing that makes you want to become better, to want to become more than you were the day before. So as I'm filling that hole, I'm starting to feel more accomplished and more, more purposeful. So maybe that hole is a necessity in order to keep us from living in the mundane. See, some people are content with their lives. They like going to work, they like coming home, they like spending time with the kids, they like watching their favorite programs and stuff. But all of those things still fill that hole. Their accomplishments at work fill the hole. The time with their family fills the hole. The time of them watching TV fills that hole. So they feel content. Some of us, however, have a different type of gap, and I think it's a little different to fill. Like, we need new accomplishments. We need new things going on. Spending time with the family obviously fills that hole, because you can feel it when you're with them, that you're in the right place at the right time. So maybe it's making you feel better about yourself. But it takes a minute to figure out that hole exists and that it's supposed to be there, because it is the willingness to become better. So when I go to these anonymous meetings, and I go to I go to church, and I go to all the other different spiritual, uplifting kind of groups, I start to realize that it's a necessity to have, and that I want to fill it with new things and more productive things and a new way of life. So I've been trying to do that. However, I still like all the stupid things, like watch TV, go to Netflix, but like I said, that fills that hole for a while. So if you feel like there's something missing in your life, there probably is, but you just need to figure out what you need to fill it with. And that's good that you feel that, because that means it's time for you to try something new. It's time for you to shake up the life a little bit. And of course, this is just my opinion. I'm not giving you advice. I was giving someone advice a couple days ago on they were telling me a story about, like, like normal gossip kind of thing. But I thought to myself, why don't I ask them more questions rather than give them my advice? You know what I mean? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm no psychologist. I'm no counselor. So I could just give them my opinion, and where does that go? I mean, if it's not their opinion or they don't share the same outlook on life as I do, it's really not going to have too much of an effect. So maybe they have the answer, so I just need to ask them more questions so they can figure it out themselves. I think that's what, for a lot of us, we figure out our own problems through our own perspective. So if someone asks me enough questions, I'll come to a resolve. And that's what I want out of this. That's what I want to do from now on towards my friends and people that I communicate with, is I want them to figure out their own resolve, because maybe it'll help me when I find out their opinion rather than give them mine. Because mine is, not the greatest educated opinion on the planet. I could definitely take more time to read some more books, you know what I'm saying?
Did you know Valley View Medical Center's mission is making communities healthier? We do that by offering a spectrum of services locally. Whether you need emergency care, elective surgery, intensive rehab care, aquatic therapy, or general lab or imaging tests, Valley View has you covered. And our staff will treat you with the compassionate care and respect you deserve. To learn more, go to valleyviewmedicalcenter.net.
All right, so how the former Prince Harry and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyways, former Prince Harry and Meghan, how they left the royal family, all right? So before we get into it, I'll tell you a rumor that I heard that they're supposed to be moving to Los Angeles. So we're going to have the former prince in LA in the States. And this is how it all worked out. So apparently Harry and Meghan rushed their announcement because one of the tabloids was about to announce it for them. And that's uncalled for. Way to slip the secret out, you know what I'm saying? But that's the price of celebrity or being part of a royal family. You're one of the biggest celebrities in the world. So people are going to want to know about you, and if a tabloid finds it out ahead of time, I get it. You had to rush the gig. But the drama started just before Christmas with Harry calling up his dad, Prince Charles, to propose an arrangement where he and his wife would let go of some of their duties, live abroad part-time, and attempt to support themselves. Now, when they say support themselves, it's like when Trump said he supported himself. His father still gifted him $1 million to start his company, but from that $1 million, he grew into a financial powerhouse. So, it's possible, obviously, to have a little seed money, you can become something great. So a lot of us, and the American dream is that we could save up enough money to start a business and become something completely on our own. But if I had a rich family member that I could borrow $1 million from, I would do it. So I can't really knock them for doing that. Self-made, a little bit of a stretch when you get $1 million given to you, but still, it is self-made. You could have lost it all. I know plenty of people that had $50,000 and lost it all when they thought they were investing in the proper thing. So, it is self-made, 100%. Charles reportedly asked for a written proposal before discussing the issue further, and Harry sent a draft while vacationing in Vancouver earlier this month. Sent a draft about how he wants to live on his own and make his own money while he's on vacation in Vancouver, probably on the family's money. I think these guys are partying too much, man. They're just like, you know what, we can make so much money, we just gotta do it ourselves. Hurry, write a letter. She responded that, Harry then asked for a summit with the Queen at her estate on the Norfolk coast. A summit. I would like a summit with you, grandmother. And then she's like, nah. She responded that while she would love to meet with him, she would not discuss his altering his royal role until he had talked about it in greater detail with his father. So, don't be stupid, Harry. You can tell the Queen's like, I'm not talking to that little punk. He wants to not be part of the royal family. After everything I've done, he wants to diss our family. Just go talk to your dad. Go talk to your dad. Get away from me. Insiders say this is all about money and that Harry and Meghan feel they can make more money, not from what they're getting from being royals, because they get an allowance, you know what I mean? So whatever they get from being royals in the outside world. So they can make more money in corporate America and all the, trade that's going on, stock trade, stuff like that from around the world. I believe they think they can make more money that way. That's the reason they're leaving the royal family. Not because they want to stand on their own 2 feet and because they want to be bigger and better than anyone else in the royal family, but because they don't think they get enough allowance. So they want to make more money on their own. Hey, more power to them. If they can do it, thumbs up. Again, they are a little gifted, a little silver spoon in the mouth. But if they do build a huge empire from the money they have left right now, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to hit up his dad anytime and go, hey, Pops, you want to give me a loan real quick? Because I kind of screwed up this $10 million I had. I could use a little more money. And his dad will loan it to him. But, so yeah, he always is going to have a safety net, I'd imagine. Unless Prince Charles is like, yeah, you can do this on your own. Completely on your own. You're going to sign a contract where you can't even ask me for money. That would be pretty intense, dude. You know, Bill Gates signed over all of his fortune to charities, and when he dies, all of it goes to charity, and each kid only gets $1 million. That's it. So out of the billions of dollars Bill Gates has, it all goes to charity when he dies, and his kids get $1 million. That's Warren Buffett actually proposed that. He had a bunch of billionaires do that, like Oprah and stuff like that, have all signed over their fortune, instead of going to their family, goes to charity. So you're going to see in the next 20 years, Bill Gates billions. I wonder where it's going to go. I wonder how much of a big deal that's going to be. That's like, what is that, the candy guy, you know, where you can get the candy place? I'm an idiot. Willy Wonka. It's like Willy Wonka giving away his candy factory. How big of an exploit will that be? Like everyone's going to be on board trying to see where all that money goes. It's probably going to be like a bunch of wild dogs chasing after it, and people trying to figure out how they can screw the organization that's going to be giving this money away of the money, you know? I could see anyways, but that's in the future. That's not now, so we'll see what happens. So why is it so easy for liars to lie? When you tell a lie, your brain balks. How dare you lie? Tell another one, and your brain handles it better. The more lies you tell, the more sensitive your brain becomes to your self-serving and dishonest behavior, leaving your conscience speechless. That's the word from researchers at University College London, who have determined that once we engage in dishonest behavior, such behavior only escalates. So once you've lied once, you're going to lie a bunch because you become comfortable with it. But that's like anything else. Once you've gone to the gym once, you keep going, you're going to get comfortable with it. It's going to be part of your routine. So lying obviously becomes part of your routine. During the study, as incentives were added for dishonesty, people's dishonesty escalated. The brain scans showed that the amygdala, the part of the brain that is wired for emotions, had a marked reduction in activity in response to the lies a person told as the trials progressed. So they started checking the amygdala, right? Amygdala's firing off like crazy when they lie because they feel awkward, they feel dishonest, they feel anxious, nervous. I wonder if they're going to catch me in this lie. After a while, they start to get good at lying, and they're like, shoot, I can handle this. In fact, the British researchers found that the amount of the reduction in the amygdala's activity for each trial could actually predict the amount the participants' dishonesty would increase in the next trial. So, oh man, do you see this guy? It didn't light up at all. He's going to be like the biggest liar of the bunch, which is crazy because as they start to research that, who knows what they're going to use that influence for to see who's lying about what. Because really, that lie detector tests, you know, your pulse and your breathing and all that kind of stuff to tell whether or not you're lying. Because if you're not an active liar, you're obviously your amygdala is going to fire off and it's going to change the way your body operates. However, if you lie a lot, your amygdala doesn't fire off, and I wonder how much of an impact that has during like your breathing and your heart rate and all that kind of stuff, which is what a lie detector picks up on, I think. That's crazy. I would imagine that now we know when you're a spy or something like that and like step on a rock to distract you. I think after a while when you lie, you can believe yourself. You know, like when I would tell a lie to someone or tell a story to someone, you know, it's the same thing sometimes when you stretch the truth a bit. You just make the story more impactful. You make it more fun. You know, you add a little bit more details. It's called a tall tale. However, it is a lie at the base of it. So you're making up all this stuff and it just becomes easier and easier to tell the story with the more nonsense you've added to it. Now again, I'm not saying like in your day-to-day, like if someone said, hey, did you take my car? And you're like, nah, I didn't borrow your car. Where did all the gas go? I don't know. You know, something like that. I'm just talking about like in a random story about you and your friends at a restaurant, what happened, and everybody's outlook on it. You know, you're like, everybody was shocked. However, nobody even noticed. But it makes it sound better if everyone's shocked. But anyways, so once you start telling stories like that, it's kind of like that. The lying method, and your tales can become taller and taller and taller. That is, the greater the fall in amygdala activity during one trial, the bigger the lie would be in the next. Obviously, because your brain doesn't even care anymore. It's like, yeah, he makes up stuff all the time. Just let him do it. Let him get it over with. Let her get it over with. It's not that big of a deal. Which is why some people, and especially drug addicts, I've noticed drug addicts lie a lot, but not about doing drugs, but I mean like about random stuff, like just weird stuff. And I think it's because they lie so much that it's become so accustomed to them lying that now they can make up stories whenever they feel like. And it has no effect. They don't feel embarrassed over saying something that's completely ridiculous and stupid because they lie so often. And now they just make up things about people, you know, and they can even lie to themselves about what kind of person they are in a situation and try to blame you for it, you know. I don't know. That's a whole other issue, a whole other time. And again, like I said in the beginning of this episode, I am no psychologist, so I have no experience in it. But thank you for being part of mine. It's a Big K Experience and the Spilt Milk Show with the Beat.